Hooey. I want to talk about, I'm going to get on my feminist pulpit right now and talk about things like this that I just came across. And my thing is that a lot of these so-called white nationalist Christian politician values, right? They don't adhere, just like Jesus talked about the Pharisees of his day, that they said one thing out their mouth and did exactly the opposite thing. While we're talking on a Christian level, because I'm going to bring it back to some of that, he condemned them. He called them vipers. He also called them workers of lawlessness, as well as all of the Christians that claim to have, and they weren't even called Christians back then because Christianity didn't even exist until the Roman Catholic Church created it. But the people that claim they follow Christ of the Bible, you know, when he came back, they asked him, they said, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not expel demons in your name? And Christ said to them, I don't know you. Get away from me, you workers of lawlessness. Because the people like this don't work under actual law. They could give a shit less. They say one thing and another they do. So my issue is with a lot of these white nationalist Christians is that they, and a lot of them that are in politics, have mistresses and then have their mistresses have secret abortions, but you don't hear about that. You won't hear about that, right? You know, these family values that these people claim they have, you don't get to hear about that. Their crooked ass deeds and the way that they maneuver is corrupt, but you don't get to hear about that, right? Well, we're going to hear about one.
For an abortion is being accused of paying for one himself. Yeah, we got another one. In 2022, Texas DA Gocha Ramirez charged Lizelle Gonzalez for murder after she had a self-induced abortion. He did this even though women, even in Texas, are exempt from criminal charges for having an abortion. As a result of his wrongful charge, Gonzalez spent 3 days in jail before being released on a $500,000 bond. Her name was made public as a murder suspect, and the media coverage around it used her name, so the emotional damage was real. The case was later dropped, and Ramirez was fined and disciplined for ignoring the law. Then last year, Gonzalez filed a lawsuit against the local sheriff and the prosecutors in the case, including Ramirez. Even the Trump judge agreed she had every right to. But now it's come out that Ramirez himself paid for abortions in the 90s, according to allegations from Becky and Rosita Rocha. Ramirez had previously admitted to having an affair with the sisters, plural. Dude, the sisters provided this information in the form of sworn depositions for Gonzalez's case. We love to see women supporting women. Becky Rocha has previously stated that Ramirez had made it clear to her that she couldn't have his baby because of his career. The sisters urged Ramirez to release Gonzalez, and texts show he knew he shouldn't have charged her. It's yet another holier-than-thou Republican who had an affair, paid for an abortion, and abused his power to attack women for having an abortion. And not to mention the guy who claims to want to protect women who's in the White House. Yeah, anybody seeing a pattern here? This Republican DA, who charged a woman with murder for an abortion, is being accused of paying for one himself. Yeah, we got another one. In 2022, Texas DA Gocha Ramirez charged Lizelle Gonzalez for murder after she had a...
So he used his political affiliation and power to try to criminalize a woman that gave herself a self-abortion in Texas because apparently she couldn't get a legal abortion from a clinic, right? So he tried to charge her with murder. Yet he paid for 2 women that he was cheating on his wife, I'm assuming, because why else would he say it would kill his career, with 2 sisters, and got one of them pregnant. See the hypocrisy? Does anybody see the hypocrisy? These are the same type of men that talk about women walking around in no clothes or in clothing that is revealing and distracting and, you know, causes them to sin. However, these are the same type of men that got nuns pregnant in monasteries, and they have a whole bunch in New York and the other side in Canada, where these so-called priests were effing the nuns, and then the nuns would get pregnant, but instead of revealing their deeds, right, these fine Christian values, they'd kill the babies and literally put them in the ground under the monasteries and the churches. So there was a whole bunch of dead baby corpses, right? This is the same type of mindset that will do exactly like this prosecutor did. Paid for an abortion because he didn't want to ruin his career. And these are the same men that talk about women who have careers that want to be able to get abortions when they need an abortion and prevent it. Do you see the double standards working here? Because I do. I see the double standards, and I see the hypocrisy, and I see the lies and the deceit and the corruption. I see it all.